hear this broadcast, please respond. My name is KnowBotty, and I am a survivor. I have an underground bunker and supplies. I repeat, if anyone can hear me, please respond. Good morning, evening, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for a special episode. This will be episode 4 of How to Play 7 Days to Die. Now, the reason I say this is a special episode is because I'm doing something that I've never done before. I'm actually in creative mode. Basically, there's a reason I'm doing this. We're coming up on day 4, I believe, on our Let's Play, so it's time to start thinking about how we're going to design our first base for the Horde. I just wanted to basically, since this is the beginner's guide, wanted to go through and show all the different styles of Horde bases that I found useful for day 7. And in order to do so, it's a creative mode game, so I'm just going to teach you how to use creative mode, teach you all the cheats and all the fun stuff here. So we need to find us a big area that is flat, which is why I'm flying. Now, in order to fly, you just basically, in creative mode or cheat mode, you hit H. The way to do this in your regular game, if you decide you want to do cheat mode, which I'm not saying cheat mode is terrible. Some people just want to build bases. That's fine. I understand. You don't always want to do the grind. Personally, I like the entire game myself, but everybody's got their opinions on what they like and don't like, so each their own. Personally, I don't like to cheat, but for this video, I didn't have much choice, so that's why I'm doing it. But in order to fly, you just basically hit H. Spacebar will bring you up, and your, I believe it's Z, is your standard setup for it, will bring you down. You can fly, basically, anytime you're in cheat mode. So if you hit F1 and you type CM, that'll bring up creative menu. That'll allow you to fly as well, as will DM. Now DM and CM are a little bit different. Debug allows you to spawn in zombies and things like that by hitting your escape button. It'll give you this whole thing up top here. It'll let you change all the options here. You can cut off physics, you can cut off your saving. This is developers mode, so it's more for developers than anything, obviously. Make sure that their mods are working correctly and such things. So we don't really worry too much about that. You hit C to bring up the creative menu, and you can spawn in anything you want in the game. This has every single item in the game in it. So if there's anything that you want, you can just hit C, bring up creative menu, and spawn it in. So that's pretty much how you cheat in the game. I believe it's no, it's not F9, F11 or F10. Okay, that was a screenshot. F8 will bring up your FPS. There is a way you can spawn zombies in. I'm just trying to remember what the hotkey is for it. F7 brings down your UI menu. Okay, so yeah, F6 will bring up the spawn thing. So like, say you want to spawn a bunch of animals or whatever. All you have to do is place your targeting reticule where you want to spawn them, and then you can just click these buttons here once you've hit F6, and it'll spawn in anything you want. We're not worried about spawning anything in right now, so we're just looking for a nice flat space. I just thought I'd cover that while I was doing the cheat mode stuff. So what we're looking for right now is a nice flat area to start building a bunch of bases. So we're just flying around until we find us a good flat spot. There's a few different base types that I want to do. I want to do a POI, basically show you what you need to do in a POI in order to get a day 7 Horde ready base. I want to do a underground bunker, show you how you can hide from the zombies if you feel like it. I'm not going to lie, I have done that in the past whenever I was concentrating on something else. I'm not going to be in this biome because, as you see, it's way too foggy to see anything on screen. So we're going to go out this way and look for a flat spot. But you can also, there's 2 different ways that you can go about getting a POI ready for Horde Night. I'm going to find the city that's not in that biome so it's not all foggy and everything for us. You can either go with like the spike trap inside or the spike trap outside. I'm going to show you how to do the spike traps and all of that fun stuff. The different ways that different spikes affect the strengths and weaknesses of them, along with the, okay, this is our flat spot here. This is a really good spot for what we're going to do, because we need a few different bases. Let's see. Oop. Cut that off and make sure, okay. This is flat enough for what we're going to do. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. We're going to do different types of bases here, so I'm just going to do all of them in wood, just to show you. I need to spawn this in, so I'm going to spawn in a bunch of wood frames. I'm going to spawn in I'm not going to go like make it look beautiful or anything. Let's see, I need wood as well. We're going to need tools, so we're going to go with a nail gun. Since we're cheating, we might as well make it quick, right? We're going to need spike traps. We're going to need an auger just in case. And we are going to need... I think this is everything that we're going to need to start with except for gas. If we need anything else, I'll spawn it in. But, okay, so we've got everything pretty much that we need for a horde base set up already. Nail gun and auger. So, basically, there's couple different ways you can set your initial base up. Now, the ones that I've found most effective for the first horde night are simple platform bases. So we're basically going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like the 5x5 setup. It's nice and compact. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you don't have to worry about stability issues and stuff like that, which is why I like to run it. So basically what you'll do is you'll go 5 in between here and just lay down this simple little corners. And then you'll this is called nerd pulling. What you do is basically you just jump while you have your wooden frames active and place them as you go. Now the key here is you want 4 blocks right here before you go for your ceiling. And I'll show you why in just a second. 2, 3, 4. Now for your first horde night, this doesn't matter as much as it does for later horde nights. The reason you want to do this is, oh yeah, just start making a floor here with wooden frames. Now this is best for your first horde night if you're looking for a quick base that you don't have to spend a lot of time working on. Straight up wood frames works just fine. You will want to upgrade your pillars here, but the rest of this, just regular old wood frames. And there's a reason for this. You can shoot through these. Zombies can't climb. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. I'll spawn in some zombies to show you. But you can shoot through these. Zombies can't climb through them. So that's the reason why we're doing this the way we are. Basically all you're doing is you're giving yourself a nice little platform up top here that zombies can't get to you and you can shoot them. So this requires you to have a lot of ammo. This is a really strong one if you've got, say, a couple hundred crossbow bolts for your first night. This is a really strong setup. Now we can do a couple things down on the bottom. I'm going to do them to show you what I'm talking about. But this base right here, and this seems a little overpowered to me, actually. So let's go ahead and spawn in a gun. I'm going to do exploding crossbow bolts for this one. I know you probably won't have those by day 7, but just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to go in and do the exploding crossbow bolts. Any setup that you run weapons-wise, as long as you've got enough ammo, they'll work. You can use pistols, you can use anything. So basically what's going to happen here is the zombies, we're going to go in and spawn in a bunch of them down here. Let me switch my ammo over. So if you spawn in a bunch of zombies here, let's go for We're going to spawn 25 just to show you how crazy it can get. And let's see. The zombie utility worker feral, they're pretty strong, so that'll work. I'm just going to show you like the overall strength of this base. Whoa, wrong way. I did not mean to spawn them up there. Okay, so now that they're downstairs, I didn't realize it was going to spawn them where I was. Now that they're downstairs, you see how they just group up down here and they can't hit anything? Well, you can shoot them from up here. And that's it. I mean, that's the strength of this base. They just cannot get to you. They'll be down there all night long, just running around like chickens with their head cut off, and they can't get to you. So you can take them out all you want downstairs. This is a really solid defense for the Horde. It's not the best. Well, it can be. Like, if you ask me for the price of just a bunch of wood frames, this is the strongest, cheapest base that I could find. That's why I'm actually going to be running this for our Let's Play. This is the style base that I'm going to set for the Let's Play. And this can be all upgraded in the future. So if you decide you want to do this for your first Horde night, this will probably be a really strong way to do it. Now, there's another way that you can set it up, and you can put spikes down here. You can put, there's a couple different ways you can do it. If you want your base to kill everything without you having to spend a bunch of, let me go on and auger these guys down real fast. That way I can get to this area. But if you want your base to do all the killing for you, and you can basically just chill up top. The best way to do that for the first Horde night is to... I'm just trying to get these guys to despawn down here so I can show you what I'm talking about. The best way to do that is with these wooden spikes that I made. Now, you will have to replace these, and these will pretty much take care of anything you want to take care of. So if you place your wooden spikes in here, and I actually recommend with this setup, not just going with the standard 25, also going to the sides as well. I'll show you why in a minute. But I'm going to lay down the 25 on the inside to start with. There we go. Now, if you also lay them down in this side area here, I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Let me see if I can fit that in there. Yeah. See, that's going to be an issue there. But, okay. I'm not too worried about that. Let me see if I can punch this grass out, and maybe that'll fix it. Yeah, that's what it was. Is the grass was in the way. Now, if you lay these spikes down like this, inside, and actually hit the outsides, what's going to happen is these zombies are going to get caught up on here, and they'll kill themselves on these spikes. So you can just sit up top and not even worry about anything. Do whatever you feel like doing. This is the lazy way of doing it. So if you don't feel like getting all the zombie kills and stuff like that, and I'll show you how to get up there. The easiest way to get up there and not have to worry about ladders is just do a stair step like this. Let's see. Like this right here. Now you can put in ramps if you feel like it, but basically all you have to do is jump across here. Zombies can't get across here because they can't jump, and you actually have to jump to get across. So that's a really solid defense. That's a zombie-proof staircase is what that is. They're just gonna fall down into the spikes is all they're gonna do. So let's see if I can get these guys to spawn down here this time. We'll go with the same thing that we just did with the feral utility workers. And I'm only doing feral just so you can see how they run. Okay, so we've got 25 of them here. And they're going to come after us. And they're just going to get caught on these spikes. And you can just sit up here and let them kill themselves. Now, these spikes will only last for so long. So it does help if you attack while they're doing it. But this will actually make you use a lot less ammo throughout the night. You can actually use the spikes to kill them if you want. Just the number one thing here is make sure that they're not hitting your little corners that you've got set up. So let's kill these guys off. But, whoa, yeah, see? Like right here, they actually got above. So I would actually recommend going a little higher if you're going to do that. Maybe 5 blocks high. That way they can't climb on top of each other and get in there. But you can shoot things through here. You cannot loot through here, so be careful trying to loot at night. Let me take him down because he's just going to annoy me. And him. Okay, that one was a dud. So if you shoot these things too far, they're also duds. So careful with that. Alright, so that's one base. That is a very solid base for a beginner. And the next base we're going to do is, you can set the same thing up inside of a POI, which is good. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to actually build an underground bunker that they just can't get to. So if you remember in one of the previous episodes, it might even be episode 3, we basically started digging a hatch down, or like an entire area down here. So if you go deep enough, they can't get to you. And the trick is to make sure that you've got it set up correctly up here. And they still won't be able to come down to you. I don't recommend this because it gets really, really boring at night doing this. However, you can actually just go mining at night if you feel like it during Horde night. That's not a bad idea. It's a good way to build up your resources. If you're trying to, like if you decide that you're going to work on a massive base for your, to start with, this is actually a good option to do. We'll upgrade all of this stuff. So now that I've upgraded this, I need a hatch and a plate. So we're just going to make those real fast. Don't need to spawn those in. They're quick to make. Hatch and a plate. So you make both of those and you can place them down. Now remember, you have to have this wooden plate here for your hatch because otherwise your hatch will fall. It will have nothing to grab onto and it will actually fall. So be careful with that. Now what you do down here is, a wrong button, you'll want to dig straight down and decide which place you're going to have your ladder on. Now I recommend having your ladder on a different area than your hatch here opens up in. It just makes things a little easier when you're coming out. So like say your hatch is opening up to where it's on this side, you'll want to put your ladder over on this side. So like right here. All you have to do there is place wooden frames and let's see, let's make some ladders. We're gonna make about 30 of these because we're going nice and deep, because we're trying to make a base that the zombies just can't get to you at night, and you can ignore the zombies altogether. So you just basically dig down too deep or too wide here, all the way down as far as you can. I'm not going to go all the way down for this episode because there's a time constraint that we need to worry about, because we're showing a lot of different bases here. So basically you just keep digging down like this. This is going to take a long time, so you actually want to start it a couple days before Horde Night if you want to. But basically what's going to happen is the zombies are going to get stuck up there, and they're not going to be able to get to you. If you go deep enough, they'll just stand around up top all night, and they're not going to really break anything. Now, when you get down to the bottom, that's when you just want to start digging out. And I have to do that to get out of here anyway, so I'm going to do that real quick. So you'll just basically dig out around once you get deep enough. I recommend going about 30 blocks if you're going to be doing this setup. I believe it's you only need to go about 12, but you're going to get a lot of resources by going 30. So, because you're going to have to dig your way down anyway. So basically what you'll do here is you'll just start spreading out once you get down. And this could be called a hidey hole. Now if you have a base up top you could actually put your forges and stuff down here too, and it'll keep your spawners from, or your screamers from spawning. Screamers before day 7, usually not a good thing. I will recommend trying to hold off on spawning screamers for a while, because I've seen, like, early bases, screamers can actually wreck your base. So you're not expecting them, and if they see you before you kill them, then they're basically just going to spawn tons and tons of zombies. So especially if you've got like a 2-player game going on. 2-player games, screamers will wreck your day, unless you're a really good quick shot. So be careful with them. Now you can actually put a forge room down there. If you go, I believe it's further than 12 blocks deep, then you can put a forge room down there, and it'll keep the screamers from even spawning, because they only spawn within a 12 block radius of the heat map that you're talking about. Let me cut off the FPS counter here. We don't need it. But that's a good solid base design if you don't worry about even attempting a horde night. Let's see. There's the platform. There is the underground base. We can do the POI next. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to find a decent POI for it. You can do this in pretty much any POI. There's 2 different ways you can set this up. So I'm going to set this one up, the first one up, for an outside setup. So if you're going to do an outside setup, I'm just looking for, yeah, this is a pretty good one. All you have to do for the outside setup is you want to go a few blocks high. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say 5's good. And just place wood frames all the way around the building is all you have to do. You can go 2 out if you feel like it. If you want more room. If you're afraid you'll fall off at night. And things like that. Now, I've seen Games for Kicks do this a lot when he does his POIs. It makes for a more fun horde night because you actually get to actively engage the zombies. Just remember, you're going to have to leave one spot open for your ladder here, which is why I did that. Now, the key to this one is don't do what I just did there. Don't give them a weight onto your ladder. Yeah, like right here. They can't get onto that ladder once I get rid of this trash can. Hold on. I'm just emptying this out because it's just going to leave something behind if I don't. Okay, so now they can't get to your ladder. And make sure this bottom rung is missing. Zombies can't jump. You can. So remember that. That's your best friend. That's what's going to keep the zombies from getting up to you. So now we just, basically, we do a platform all the way around the base here. The zombies can't get to us. We can get to them. Because remember, you can shoot through these wooden frames. Just do not upgrade them and you're fine. This is one that's really good for if you have the spider zombies as well. Now, I would recommend taking all of this down because it's going to be hard to run on. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time in this Let's Play. Or in this video. But it's useful. Like I said, recommend taking that down and putting wood frames up so you can still shoot through them and things like that. But basically, this is the base design. Now, you can place, if you feel like it, you can actually place a bunch of spikes down here too. The thing with these spikes is they're one-offs. They get destroyed and you got to replace them. So just like a layer or 2 of spikes down here. And they're expensive on wood, so be careful with that. This is a really solid base design. Give yourself a way in and out of the building as well, obviously. But basically what you're doing is you're just standing up here and you can shoot down and kill your zombies as they're coming up to the walls. This works pretty well on like a brick POI. I wouldn't really use this on a wooden POI because they're going to be beaten on the walls. So if you're doing a wooden POI, there's a better way to do it. That works like we did our platform base. Speaking of which, we need a lip on our platform base, which is something I forgot to do. I'll show you what I'm talking about. First, I'm going to spawn these zombies just to show you why you want a lip. I'm going to spawn a bunch of spider zombies, and they're going to climb straight up this. Alright, so now if you spawn spider zombies, or if you have spider zombies, so let me find some. That's crawler. Zombie, spider, feral. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, we're going to hop down just so they come follow us. Okay, now we're going to fly back up here. Now watch what's going to happen. They just climb right up these sides here. If you don't put a lip, they'll do that for you. They'll do that to you. You got to be careful. Now, a lip, from what I'm talking about, is why we did what we did there. I'm going to kill these guys off just to shut them up real fast. You got to be careful with the spider zombies because they do climb. And I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Any base that you do, you're going to have to do this with in order to keep the spiders from getting to you. As you see, they can wreck your day. There we go. I think we got them all. No, we didn't. Now you see why I did the exploding crossbow bolts for this one. But yeah, they'll wreck your day if they get to you. Now, the lip that I was talking about is this exact thing right here. If you don't, they'll climb up any straight thing here, right? So, whoa. Creative mode. They'll climb up any straight wall like this. But as soon as they hit that wood frame, they're not going to be able to climb any further. They'll fall back down. So that's what I mean by a lip. Just something sticking over. You don't want any straight way up to the side. What killed us there was the fact that we had, let's see here. We had no lip. So I'll show you real fast what I'm talking about. I'm just going to do a single thing here. Now, this right here, they can climb up this side, is the problem. What they did is they just climb right up here, and they're going to attack these as well. So, they'll climb straight up there and come after you. Now, what you want to do is anytime that you have something like that, you just want to put a little, like I said, a little lip. You don't even have to go all the way around. Like, I'm sure this right here would work. Just something like a couple blocks that just keep them from actually being able to just climb straight up. It's all you need. So if we were to come out here with this, we'd want to go, that would be sufficient. So just anything right here to block off these areas to where they just can't get up there. Because when they climb this, they're going to run into a little stop, and it's going to stop them from coming up. That is a very important thing if you don't want a single one or two zombies to get to you at night. So remember that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to show you like what to do inside of one of these wooden POIs as well. A good solid base design in these wooden POIs, you'll want a second floor. Any building that has a second floor can work for this. So I don't think that's going to be a good one for it. That doesn't have a second floor. But basically what I'm going to do in here, okay, Lathan Hardware, this does. These are actually good little buildings for it. So you go upstairs here, right? Let me see. I think you have to go inside to go upstairs. Yeah. This one's going to be the best building for it. Go on and break our way through the door here. Now, the first thing we would want to do here, in this building right here, in order to make this horde ready, is take out these stairs down here. We don't want to give the zombies a way to get up top with us, and that's the key. So if we take out, say, 2 layers of stairs here, one might be sufficient, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I always go 2 just to be on the safe side. We don't want to give them a way to crawl up and get into the next stair. So you'd have to take out basically all of these blocks here. Okay, that's done, and that. Alright, so now that that's done, zombies can't get up here. Now all you have to do in order for you to get up here, you notice you're 1 block up. All you have to do is put a simple ladder right there. Zombies can't jump, remember. So if you just jump up onto that ladder, you can get up here with no problem. So that's how you deal with that. Now, spider zombies can still, I think, get up here on that. I'm not 100% sure because they can technically climb up this wall. So if you just put a lip for them not to get up there, you'll be fine. You can take all of this out and just put a simple ladder up there and then put a lip down here. That's all up to you. I mean, that's your choice on how you want to do things. There are possibilities of spider zombies getting through here, but I'm sure you can figure something out that would work for that. Let me go in and spawn in an axe, because I think that's going to be quicker. Steel fire axe. Take. Now, this isn't going to be very quick for me, because I'm going to run into stamina issues here. But all you have to do, if you want to do a base like this, is just knock out the floor here. Now, you'll want to replace these things that you're taking out with wooden frames, obviously. But if you knock out the floor of the second building, or the second story, 5x5, 4x4, whatever the size of the building works for, just knock out the floor here and put your frames down. You can do the same thing downstairs as well. Oh yeah, there is no stamina issue. Okay, good. You can do the same thing downstairs as well. Just knock out the floor and put some spikes down. I'll show you the difference between the way you set up the spikes too. That makes it pretty good. For now, I don't know if they're changing it in Alpha 17. I've heard that they are. So I'm going to teach you 2 different ways to do your regular non-wooden spikes downstairs to make it easier. I think if you keep them crawling downstairs, it's always nicer. And the other spikes last longer as well. So I'm going to show you how to do those real fast after this. But yeah, you just knock out your floor here. It doesn't matter how much you knock out. Like, this will be plenty sufficient. You just need a window to get to where you can see down there. I like to open it up as much as possible, obviously, because it just gives me more room to deal with. So now that we're done upstairs, no zombies can get through there. You can see down there. They'll come in here. Now, I recommend putting stairs up and stuff like that around the sides just so they can get into here. But you'll basically want to open this up to where they can just get to you. I actually like taking out walls sometimes if I've got extra time, just to make it to where they can get into me easier. But you don't have to. Okay, so there's 2 different ways you can do this room down here. You can use the wooden spikes that we just used, which I've already showed you how those work, so we're going to leave them be. Or we can use the other spikes. I can't remember what they're called right offhand, but they work a lot better if you ask me. I would much rather make them. They last longer. They'll actually not completely kill every zombie, and just better overall. I definitely recommend the other spikes. I'm not too big of a fan of these wooden spikes that everybody seems to use. They can be useful, don't get me wrong, but just personally, with my playstyle, I don't like it. Everybody's going to have their personal favorites, so that's what this video is about, so you can see the different ways to do things and figure out which you like better. Alright, so basically all I did was just cut out a little square in here, right? Now that we've got that square cut out, we're going to go in and make some spikes. These wood log spikes right here. Now, you can upgrade them all the way up to steel. That is good. Steel, basically, once you upgrade them to steel, they'll never, ever break. But we're just going to go with the wood because we're talking about day 7. So I'm going to drop my ladders here and grab these. So you can either put them down like this. Now, the problem with putting them down right side up, and this is something that's getting changed in 17. Right now, you can put them upside down. The problem with putting them right side up is the zombies basically will follow the contour of the spike, and they'll hop up and down all the time, and they move around too much. So if you're running like a crossbow or a bow and arrow, you're going to have issues. Basically, you're going to have problems with them jumping up and down all the time, and they're hard to hit. So what I recommend is holding down Q to get to advanced rotation here, and then clicking a bunch of times with your left mouse button until they go upside down. Lay them down upside down like this. Zombies still take damage from them. I think what they're going to do is still allow you to make them upside down, but they only take damage from the tip. I'm not sure how they're doing that. But basically what's going to happen here is, I'll show you. We're we're going to spawn a single zombie on that other side over there, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Look at you, and let's go with just something that's not too crazy. We're just going to go with an Arlene over there. Okay, so she's going to look at me. She's going to run over to me, and watch what happens to her legs when she does this. Hey, lady. Wait, okay, so she didn't actually do that yet. I'm going to run up here and see if I can get her to go back through it. Yeah, okay, so she's going to come in here. She's going to hit these spikes trying to get to me, right? And she loses her legs. There she goes. Nice, safe area. They're losing their legs. They're just crawling around downstairs, and they can't get to you. That's why I like those spikes. They lose their legs, and they're going to take damage on those spikes as well. This is a really solid design for a Day 7 horde base. I think that's pretty much all the bases that I was thinking about, except for the Toothy. Now, the Toothy is a much more complicated base. I've got a modified Toothy on my main series playthrough, but I'm going to show you really quickly how to design a Toothy. Now, Toothy is... I don't recommend a Toothy for Day 7. I would recommend that for like a Day 14 or 21 horde, because it's resource intensive. You can't... Well, let's see. Let's just go on and do cobblestone here. You're going to need a bunch of poles and centered poles, and you're going to need a bunch of ramps. So or wedge tips. Let me find the right wedge tip here. Yeah, a bunch of wedge tips. So basically what you're going to do for this one, this is the most effective base design in all of 7 Days to Die, if you ask me. Which is why I generally start with building it to start with. This is the strongest base design in the game, in my opinion. Now, you'll lay out like a 5x5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then you'll come over to the corner here. Now, this is important that you leave this spot here open. So make sure you leave that spot here open. I'll show you why in just a few minutes when I get the rest of it laid out. That's 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to want a really, really flat area for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just doing a 5x5. You can make this as big or small as you want. I recommend going at least a 5x5 because you're going to be in the center here. You're going to be in here, and the zombies are going to be outside trying to get to you. Now, the trick with this is, let me see which one of these is centered. All right. You want regular cobblestone poles right here. Now, you're going to place these poles. I'm going to go to advanced rotation and place these poles to where they're laying down up against the top of this wedge tip here. Right here. This is the most important thing about the Toothy design. Is this right here. That, basically, that way your crawlers can't get in. Basically, we're going to design this to where we can get in and they cannot. It's pretty interesting. So with that, we can go with the centered poles, I believe, on top here. Yeah. We'll just do a layer of centered poles on the top here. And this is important that it is the centered pole. The centered pole matters more than anything on the Toothy. And I'll show you why in just a second. This allows us to get in, and they can't. We can jump through that. They don't jump, remember. They cannot break through this. They'll be stuck in here. So we're going to finish this up. We're going to well, we don't need to copy the rotation. Okay, so we're going to lay these out just like we laid out the last set. All the way around. And I'll show you why you want to leave the corners empty in just a second. And lay these down just like we did the other ones. And the reason why you want to use cobblestone here is because you can use wood if you feel like it, but it's a little weak. Cobblestone's a little stronger and you can upgrade it cheaply. Now, in the future, you can upgrade this all the way to steel, or actually the polished steel if you feel like it. But it takes a lot of resources and a lot of extra upgrading if you start with cobblestone. I recommend really doing these once you get concrete, which is why I say more like a day 17 or 21, or not 17, 14 or 21. But it's just going to make it easier to upgrade everything once you already have concrete, because you can just lay this all out in concrete, and it'll make life so much easier. But, I mean, you can do it with cobblestone. In fact, I usually start it with cobblestone. Just for a quick, solid defensive base. This is one of my favorite base designs here. I'm not sure exactly who originally came up with this. I heard the other day, but I don't remember who it was. So, I'm pretty sure you can look it up to find out who came up with it. It's called the Toothy design. But the 7 Days to Die community loves this design, and there's a reason for it. It works. It works really, really well. I'm trying to get away from doing so many toothy designs because everybody's doing it, but what works is good for everybody, right? And what you want to do here is we're going to actually need some blocks as well. You'll want to put blocks on top of these. And I'll show you where the corner thing comes into play in just a second, once I get some of these blocks laid down. You can get up here just by nerd pulling or whatever, however you want to get up here. Now, we can get inside of this, but zombies can't, and that is the key. Because of the way this is laid out, you have to jump to get inside. It's got to do with that pole down on the bottom. And nothing else can get in here. So I'll show you in just a second. Now the reason why you wanted to leave this corner open is because you're actually going to use poles here. Let's see, those are centered poles. We need the regular poles. You're going to use poles here for your corners. And they're just going to go straight up. So as soon as I can get them laid out, right? There we go. One there. And drop a block here. And a pole here. That's how you want to lay it out. This is a very, very, very strong base design. Now, I like to personally add spikes here. Most people don't. If you want to know why I add spikes, you can look on my main base design build or video that I did for War of the Walkers. And it'll actually talk about why I'm using it and show you why. Maybe watch the first Horde Night as well, just so you can see what I was talking about. But that's just a personal opinion. I just like being more active on Horde Night, that's why. You're going to have to be super active with this base as well. So, just remember that. If you don't mind actually making yourself a way to get up there, I'd go on and put spikes down on the outside, but the spikes are going to hurt you just as much as they do them. So, now we can jump in here and we're fine getting in and out. The zombies can't. I'll show you that. I'm going to go on and come inside and I'm going to spawn a bunch of zombies out here. So, that was F6 to spawn. We'll spawn 25 just to show you. And we'll go with something a little bit on the weak side. Now, I'm not actually going to kill these guys in here. I'm actually going to come out and kill them because I don't want to blow myself up. Okay, so they're going to break through this pretty easily because I haven't upgraded it. Just remember that. But what's going to happen is they're just going to get stuck there and they can't get in. Actually, I might not have to blow myself up to do this. And you can just shoot them from inside. But they can't get to you. You can shoot them through here. I do recommend upgrading this at least one time using cobblestone before Horde Night, because these are kind of weak as they are. Let's see. These only have 1500 health. You can upgrade them one time and get, I think, 2500 out of them. So let me get myself some cobblestone in a second once I kill these guys off. I'm just going to fly on out of here so I can take these down. I don't want to mudding up the world while we're doing this. Because I've got zombies cut off, if you haven't noticed. I have to spawn them all in. Alright, so there we go. Those guys just didn't see us to start with. So you can stay in here all night. You can upgrade upgrade them or just repair them as things come. So let's go on and grab us some cobblestone rocks here just to show you what the upgraded versions are. So we've got 1500 on that one, right? Oh wait, those are cobblestone. I am so sorry. You'll start out with flagstone and upgraded cobblestone. That's why they didn't get through. Okay. My bad there. But yeah, you get 1500 health for a couple cobblestone. It's really worth it. Now you can upgrade these. Let's go on and do concrete. If you get concrete, here's the beauty of this setup of doing it with cobblestone. We're just going to go on and just grab a bunch of concrete mix here, just so I can show you. You can upgrade straight to concrete from here. So once you get concrete, you can upgrade even further. Let me pull these off. Alright. So you can upgrade all of these straight to concrete as soon as you get concrete. And that's what makes this so strong. Now, this is only a single upgrade to concrete. This has got to dry. For now, it's a little bit on the weak side. It's only 1500 while it's wet concrete, just like the cobblestone here is. But once it dries, I think it goes up to like 2500. And then you can upgrade it again to reinforced concrete. But I really doubt many people will actually hit that far on day 7. So this is just an upgradable base for the future. This is why I recommend new players usually starting out with this. And they can break through sometimes, which gives a little bit of excitement. They don't really break through hardly ever. It works. It's a really good base design. So you might want to look into doing that one for your first base. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do for our first base yet. I think I might do just a platform for our first base so I can show you that a little bit better. But I'm pretty sure that's everything I wanted to show you today. So if you like the video, go on and drop a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, obviously. And check out my other stuff too. I've got a lot of other videos up. So if you're just new you're new to the game, I do a lot of explaining as I go, so it'll help out a lot. But I will see you tomorrow. As always, people, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like to show your support for the series. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more, show that subscribe button some love. Be sure to click that notification bell to be notified of my daily releases. And maybe one of these videos on screen is of interest to you as well.